What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick review of the Canon. This is the RF 16mm 2.8. This is their ultra wide budget oriented lens, and it's the only RF mount prime ultra wide focus lens right now for the RF system. They do make the 15 to 35, but all those are fairly large, heavy, especially if you get to the 2.8. I mean, you're talking a couple $1,000s. So this will be a general consumer review. I'm not a pro. I do this as a hobby, so take that in consideration. So this is $2.99. It is fairly difficult to find at times. I found it at like a general local camera store where they had it in stock. It's on Amazon and B&H from time to time, so you can get it fairly easily. And the thing about this lens is that it's an STM lens, so per Canon's website, it's supposed to be mainly focused for video. That's what it says on their website at least, but it is a very good photographer lens, and I think it's a little bit better at photography than video, which I will get into. So the first thing, the build quality. It's a cheap budget-oriented lens. I would say it's a little better than some of the budget-oriented lenses out there. So you have your focus ring, which is right here, which is actually also your control ring. So it's dual purpose. That's probably why they can get it so small and so cheap. It has a tiny filter thread here, so if you're wanting to do any type of filter, I believe it's like 42 or 46. It's a very, very small filter thread size. No weather sealing, no rubber gasket on the back, which is a little bit of a shame, as I think this is probably more of a good landscape lens, so it may be out in a little bit more rough terrains, environments where it may be misty, some type of moisture atmosphere like that. So you have your general metal mount there. So it does have a nice metal mount to it, which is a good feature. It focuses very close. I'm not going to go into the specs of aperture rings and whatever else in here. It does have a very, very close focusing distance, which I generally thought would be good for video. But I'll go into that a little bit further down the line. But build quality seems pretty in line with Canon's other STM budget-oriented RF lenses, like the 35, 50, and 85 that they have out. So for photography, I think this is an excellent option. I would consider this better than the 15 to 35, mainly because it's cheaper, it's lighter, and if you're using the R5, you could actually just crop in and you could have the 16mm and probably the 35 if you do the crop for that. I don't think you could do the crop with the R6 just because of the megapixel count for that. But photography, I think this is really good, mainly because Lightroom, and if you use the JPEGs, it basically corrects the distortion without any problem. So the distortion isn't really a problem and can be easily corrected with Lightroom. At least I took about maybe 100 photos with it, just messing around and with our toddler and just out and about when we were walking around, and it is really, really good for photo. It's crazy at how easy it just corrects the distortion, either in Lightroom software where you have everything enabled to correction, or the JPEGs are already basically corrected for you. It's extremely sharp. All of Canon's RF lenses are really sharp. Even at the corners, I didn't have any issue. You can shoot it wide open at 2.8 and it's going to be better than any of the EF lenses out there, at least from what I have found. The RF lenses are just amazing at how sharp they are. The focus is a little slow, but that's mainly due to the STM motor, not so much the design. I mean, it's a $300 lens, so it's not going to be a USM or whatever Sony does with their motors they have in there, like their G Master lenses. It's not the fastest focusing out there. Yeah, that's it for photo quality. Photo quality is excellent. This is a great option if you want an ultra wide lens. Now for video, I currently use DaVinci Resolve because I'm cheap and I didn't want to pay for. I previously was using Adobe's Premiere software, but it was like $56 a month with that and the Lightroom and basically all the apps bundled together. So I switched to DaVinci Resolve because I found that it could do just everything I needed with it. So it's not a good option for video in my eyes, just because there's so much distortion. If you can find a way to fix that, that would probably be an option, but I couldn't find a way to do it in DaVinci Resolve. I'm sure there's a way. but I couldn't find one, so I don't think it's a good option for video. I'd probably look at some different alternatives out there, maybe a 24. If you can find a EF 24 2.8 IS, that may be a better option. But for photo, this is a standout lens. I really like it for that. I'm not keeping it mainly because I don't like stuff this wide. I prefer a 24. I don't like going anything wider than a 24 for just about anything. So I'll probably sell this. Actually, I'm going to sell this and get probably one of the 24 EF lenses because there's no 24 RF lenses. I'm not getting any of the zooms that cost $2,500 to $3,000 and weigh 2 pounds. That's not an option for me, or it just doesn't seem like an option for anyone. It seems a little bit illogical to do that. But if you're just using this for photo, grab it. It's excellent if you can find it in stock. And that's it. It'll probably withstand the time. Canon's known to do a little bit of weather sealing, even though it's not advertised. I would have liked a little gasket on the back, just so if you use this out, if you're doing any type of beach or mountain stuff or anything where you're doing landscape stuff, you're most likely going to be in terrain where you're going to get some moisture or maybe some precipitation or some dust, anything like that. But besides that, that's it. That's my general consumer review. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below and I will get back to you. And have a good rest of the day, weekend, whatever's out there, and I'll see you guys next time.